All right. I know we haven't reacted in a little while, but there's like nothing going on. So, and this is kind of what that video is about. This is from 10 Pound 42. Star Citizen video content is still struggling. I don't know if it is. I think it's really obvious what's going on. I don't know what he's going to say, but whatever the Squadron 42 event is, Jared has been like MIA, except for making a post on Twitter the other day saying that Siege is going to be a regular occurrence in the game, which I also think is really stupid. Thoughts on that? Let me know. Because it's very much set up to be like the Ninetales just are here now. Like them being permanently there all the time makes no sense to me at all. So that one's a bit weird. But anyway, let's get into the video. This is again 10 Pound 42. I'm going to go ahead and link it to you guys now. And yeah, like basically this is just complaining that we don't have video content. So, okay. Yeah, it sucks, but let's see. It's an 8-minute video. It's not super
Star
long.
Citizen's video content was supposed to be back to weekly this year, but another week goes by with nothing. What is going on? Will hiring Ollie43 fix all of this?
I mean, eventually, but in the end, they plan these things out like forever in advance, right? So, yeah, I don't know. You were hired by CIG just to hate on it so the community stays nice and active. You figured it all out, dude. You figured it all out. But no, every time, here's the deal with like the Ollie thing. Everything about Ollie's description, LOL, I'm Ollie's mod. I've not heard a thing from him since you started there. I also have some information. I need to DM Ollie because I was asked by, like I told you guys, I can't really say this. Somebody asked me to reach out to Ollie because they've not been talking to them. So I told them, and this is all what I think is going on here, but here, let's talk about this first. Anytime CIG does something that's like different or it's new news or whatever, people, the Star Citizen community is very much like Chris Roberts in that way, is like just incredibly optimistic or ambitious or whatever, right? So they always assume it's like the best thing possible is going to happen, right? So Ollie comes in, the video content is going to be fixed. And they expect it like instantly. Like, obviously that's not going to happen. They've had things planned forever. And then I think over the year, it has to be very obvious to you guys that Jared moved into like a marketing role that is like, you know, the evil fucking ship sale. Like he is the ultimate ship seller kind of guy. Because like ever since he started pushing the Odin thing, it was very obvious that it was like a project that he headed to me. Like it seemed like something very much that he was the lead on, right? So that role seems to be something that he's moving into. So, and then the description that Ollie gave of his role was like, I'm going to help Jared with all the non-video content stuff, or like the other than like basically hosting content, it sounded like, so he can do more of that. So he has to get caught up and brought up to speed and be able to do all that stuff before like the video content can improve. And then what we know from the last like 3 years of ISCs is they have to like plan that stuff way in advance and ahead of time. So everybody assumes that like Ollie 43 comes in and like everything's going to be better, and it's not, right? So it's like it won't happen that quickly regardless. But again, it's like very obvious to me that like now seeing that like Ollie's mod is in here and is like, I haven't heard about him. I haven't heard from him forever. My assumption that I told the person that was looking for Ollie, my assumption is they are heads down on this Squadron 42 thing super fucking hard, trying to get that ready to go. We know that they sent out an NDA thing to like people like 10 Pound 42. And I don't know anything about it. I don't want to put any of my friends in a bad spot by like asking them. So I don't know what the fuck's happening with it. But my assumption is they're head down on that stuff. and they're super busy with it. And video content can't be made when they're working on that. The company has been head down on Squadron 42 and not caring about Star Citizen enough for years. So that's probably what's happening here. And here we are. Yeah.
Or have CIG just completely given up on video content? Here is what Jared said.
They have obviously will not completely give up on video content, but I think they're completely giving up on it right now because there's just something more important. And the moment Squadron 42 is just out in the wild, or the promotional period is like up and running, I think they'll be able to take some more time for it. But yeah.
Back in January.
As far as shows like this are concerned, well, I'm happy to report that we're going back to weekly from now on. So whether that's ISC, SEL, BTS, or whatever a particular episode is called, we'll
surprise, surprise, guys. Something that Jared said didn't become true.
be back with something to share each and every week that we can. I've missed you. And one of you sent me a giant wooden hammer, which kind of feels like a threat. But I'm going to try my best.
It's now the 31st week of this year. There have actually been 32 videos, but they haven't all been weekly. From that ISC in January,
I mean, I would put quotes around videos. Most of them were this or this. Literally listing off features from patch notes or a ship sale. Like 90% of them are that. Then you have SCLs, which are whatever.
actually got 13 weeks in a row where there was at least one video per week. But since then, it's been much more stop-start. In the next 15 weeks of the year, 7 of them had no video. If you count from that first video where Jared set out his intent to go back to weekly, it's actually been 25%, a quarter of the weeks where there's been no video. And of those videos that we've had, what have they actually been? Well, we've had 32 videos, like I said.
Dude, this guy's looking to get his invite canceled. Holy shit.
13 of them have...
Guys, and in the end, it's not about being critical of them. They've always said this to me whenever I've been yelled at for being bad. It's always about the delivery. So it's totally fine that he's being critical. I'm just making a joke.
Either been ship commercials or behind the ships, looks at ships, marketing. Only four of them have been ISCs, Inside Star Citizens.
But every Inside Star Citizen is a patch report. I download them all and have them saved on a NAS. And if I look at my 2026 folder, it's all patch reports. Not a single one is a true ISC as we know it to be. 5
which have been kind of patch cinematics, just showing off the latest patch in a nice shiny way. And then we've had 10 Star Citizen Live, SCLs. Now, the ship commercials and the behind the ships, they're here to stay. Clearly, that strategy is working for CIG. The money from ship sales continue.
It's also, they've always been here. They just, like, the whole thing about breaking them out as a separate video, I think is a totally fine idea. They've always been here. It's something we always are interested in checking out. Like, what does CIG say about the new ship that's coming out that we don't know about, right? Because, you usually get the like the leak or whatever, and you kind of know what it is, but you don't know what it is, and then that's the day you find out what it is, right? So it's like, that's totally fine. Spooner says, I'm very angry about this. Some money is supposed to fund ISC, etc. Instead, we're funding adverts for new ships. Yeah. But, like, Jared's role changed. He like, communicated that. And then then he said, I'm going to try and put out weekly video content for you. I'm going to try my best. This is weekly content for the guy who moved to marketing. I think they lost their way. Also, the sub-money funding ISC thing, I think has not been a thing for a long time. I think it all just goes into one pot.
Continues to roll in. This is, like we said, pure marketing, but without it, the project doesn't really carry on. I would argue the SCLs, the Star Citizen Lives, are the only videos right now providing much insight into the project.
Right now. Yes. That's all that we've gotten. And even then, they've been frustrating.
These long live conversations with devs can actually deliver updates, what's going on in the game, and it does feel like open development. The conversations with Benoit over the last couple of years have done a lot of heavy lifting for my confidence in the project. He speaks really well and seems to know what he's talking about.
But also, like, hey, we're going to get on this and we're going to do this has not always really happened, right? Like, I think Ben is the only hope, because he's the only guy that seems to be like, hey, the way CIG do things is not good. I'm going to change that. Whereas everybody else is kind of like, well, this is the way we do things, you know? And it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't do them that way because this is where it's gotten you. But yeah, I used to feel like we were part of the weekly development with the weekly update videos and communications, and now nothing. I think it's not nothing, because the SCLs have definitely been, like, this year, the SCLs have definitely been really, when we've had them, we haven't had them in a long time, but they were like really focused on important issues or things that were coming or things that we weren't happy with. So this year I thought that they were like decent with that. But yeah, overall it's different. And ISCs made more sense when they were doing quarterly patches, because it was like, all right, this is the sprint that this team is on. They're doing Hathor or something. No, Hathor wouldn't be a good example because that was after they started doing like monthly patches. But and then they would like kind of show you that stuff. Now it's like, it's impossible for them to show you something that they're actively working on because it's already in the PTU. So as much as you guys don't want, like, you want ISCs back and seeing new features and things like that, your ISC is the PTU essentially, because everything is just, we're getting things so quickly now that how could he possibly make a video of shit you already don't, like, shit that you don't know about. So the SCLs are the best because they can just talk about things that are not actively in development, but then that also causes frustration, right? Because it's not actively in development. So whatever they talk about will change, be different, create frustration and all sorts of things. So it's not necessarily like wrong that he hasn't made videos yet, because what the fuck is he supposed to make a video about? Like, put your YouTube hat on and think about, like, if I was Jared, what would I make a video on? And then like try and determine it. Now, obviously he knows more than we do about like what's going on within the game's development. If I was Jared, I would be making videos about, like, I would get the economy team or whoever is deciding things like, I don't know, money transfer limiting, and then go, why are we doing this? And what's the plan for the future? Where are we going? And the video doesn't have to be 20 minutes long. It doesn't have to be an SCL. Yeah, I would sit Yogi down. What's going on with Flight? Where are we with that? That should be like a monthly, bi-monthly get-together, right? Like, Flight is just like everything about the game. I would, I don't know, maybe mission team talk to once a month. Like, there would just be things where it's like, hey, where are we now? Here's the community's frustrations with certain things. What are we doing about them? It would be more of that. It's like getting back to that part. Now, you can't show new shit because there's no new shit to show. But I would definitely be like, here's where we are with this. What are we doing? But that's the other thing about all this, is they can't do that because that's not how CIG works, because we want the things that they release fixed or changed or updated, but CIG doesn't do that shit. You know why? Because CIG puts something out half-assed and then moves on to the next thing that they're about to half-ass. And then it's ship sale, ship sale, ship sale, ship sale. Like, when you have guys coming on and complaining about the video content that it's just ship sales, guys, I got news for you. That's all you, that's Star Citizen. That's the game you backed. That is That is what you created. That is where we are. That is what Star Citizen is. So what do you expect the video content to be? That's all it is. That's all this game is. This game is the advertising or the profit machine of the company, but it's not a video game. It's just being used as the profit machine to make the video game that they're actually working on. Maybe one day it becomes the video game that they're working on. But right now, all it is, so of course the video content's going to represent that. So the video content is representing exactly what Star Citizen is. All it is a moneymaker. It isn't meant to be, it isn't being used as a, like, I sincerely don't believe that people go to work every day at this company like as a collective, that the, like, from the top down, that the goal is to make Star Citizen the best possible thing or MMO or whatever. Like, because in the end, I don't think they even know what it is. I don't think from the top down that Star Citizen is like, guys, like, they have a meeting and they're like, we're going to try and change the industry. We're trying to do the best job we possibly can. I think from the top down, it is make the most money you possibly can. Get this released so we can make more money. That's all it is. And the video content is representing that. And Jared is representing what Star Citizen is perfectly. So in my mind, he is doing nothing wrong. And he is the perfect Star Citizen video content person, because that's all the game is. The next ship sale. That's all it is.
These SELs don't require any gameplay video capture stuff, but they obviously do require planning and devs that are prepared to go on camera. But my one...
They do not require planning. What planning do they require? They put out a fucking thread. The devs pick out a few questions that they want to answer, and then they show up and talk for an hour. Give me a fucking break. Like, this shit is... You put 3 seats down, you sit down, and you talk about it. Don't give me this bullshit like you need to plan anything. What does this fucking guy have to do to plan any of this? Other than get the developers to sit down and do that. It's like, give me a break, man.
Really, if anything CIG would do, could we please go back to these nearly weekly? These, I think, are the best way for you to go forward. They're less high effort than the Inside Star.
He's right, they're less high effort. But how many times can you get Torsten on camera to say that he's going to fix mining or salvage or whatever? Weekly talks about Star Citizen content when, again, nobody is working on Star Citizen in the way that you want, because it's just the funding platform now. If you do weekly SELs, they're going to become as frustrating as weekly behind the ships, because it's going to be the same dev saying the same thing that they said last time. That's it. That's all it'll be. It'll just be the same thing that the same dev said last time. And because, like, again, the project doesn't move as quickly as weekly. It doesn't. I don't know why I'm not a game developer. It just doesn't, though. Like, we've been around here forever. We know it doesn't move that quickly. So you will even become frustrated by SELs every week, because how many times can Elliot come on camera? How many times can Torsten come on camera? How many times? I mean, bro, look at the fucking flight content. How many times has Yogi come on camera, said the same bullshit, and nothing has happened? Zero has happened in Star Citizen to change anything. No new quantum travel, no flight control surfaces, blah, 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 right? It's all bullshit.
With loads of stuff flying around in the background, B-roll. I think this is what I would hope for. More of these. Inside Star Citizen, yes, it did used to be great.
Do I seem... I see the chat saying, like, don't get upset. Do I seem upset? I'm just telling it like it is. That's it. I'm not upset about any of this. This is just... It is what it is. That... Like, just open your eyes.
With detailed looks at features in development, sprint reports, different formats. But really what we've got now is a shell of what it used to be. In 2026, those
Because the project is a shell of what it used to be, because nobody is working on it and it doesn't matter to them. Like, as a company initiative, it is significantly less important to CIG, the company, in this moment. And what I hope is, and this is the only hopium I have left, is that we'll look back on this moment and be like, damn, that sucked, but I'm glad we got through it. I mean, 1,000 people at a company, and
4 episodes that we've had.
we can only get 4 people to talk about the game is kind of telling, right? Because 4 people work on it.
They've been patch reports, which effectively they just show all the things that are coming up in the next patch, which is fine. But many people have checked out what's going on in the PTU, or they've watched other YouTube channels showing off what's happening in the game. And so these episodes, these patch reports, they don't really bring anything particularly exciting. Like I said, I think if we could go back to Star Citizen Live nearly every week, I think I could probably live with ISC staying as it mostly is. But it is a shame that what was once the top premier show that we had, giving us all sorts of insight.
Why was it? Why was it? Because there was no game. So he hits the nail on the head here. It used to be exciting. I've been calling this out for like 5 years, maybe more. As Star Citizen develops, you will become less and less excited by it, because the unknowns that you were thinking in your head were going to be one way are now another way. Star Citizen is less exciting because it exists more than it did before. The video content is representing the project as a whole. It is less exciting because the knowns are known.
Developers showing off what's going on, what's coming up in the future. It's a shame that it is basically now not really even worth watching. Ultimately, I think CIG are miles away from where the video content should actually be. I followed the game from the start. I backed in 2013. I'm pretty sure...
Like I said, I think it's exactly where it should be. Because what else are they going to do?
Sure, I've watched almost every single video they've ever put out. I've got some problems, yes. When the video content was regular, it would be something I look forward to every single week. A weekly connection with the project, a habit. When there was a rare week without content, it was fine. Okay, they'll just be back next week. But it's now the opposite. I open up the post this week in Star Citizen and I expect no video content, or at least not particularly interesting video content. The behind the ship stuff, it is fine and serves a purpose for CIG, but it doesn't really.
It also serves a purpose for us. Like I said, it's like the leak comes out, you kind of know what the ship is, but you don't, and then you kind of see where that ship fits in the ecosystem, or where it might fit, and then you go out and test it, and then it may fit in the role CIG wants it to fit, or it may not, and then you give feedback on that. So it serves a role. The role that it serves is like, this is what CIG says the ship is, and then your feedback can determine, well, it's not fitting that role, or it's not doing that thing, or whatever. The worst part about this is the ship is not tested in the PTU before that video comes out, which is the worst thing that they've done. And I think it's, if there's anything to give feedback on around the video content is, the ship should come out first.
Excite me anyway. I feel at this point like I'm conditioned for disappointment. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, none of this is really that big of a deal. It's not ruining my life, and CIG are not solely responsible for my entertainment in life. The only thing that the lack of the open video content really does to me is just makes me feel slightly less connected to the project.
Yep.
I do think, though, that this strategy from CIG is having an overall negative impact on how the community feels. I think it's pretty obvious to anybody who spends any time on Reddit or Spectrum.
It's just clearly the best way to feel connected to the project. It always has been, and it's been, in my opinion, the biggest driver for that. I'm sorry, a Spectrum post, a tweet, or a Reddit post will never do what a YouTube video will do.
People are on edge. Broken ships, broken gameplay, broken patches. 2026 has not gone very well. Patience seems to be wearing very thin for some people. Some are stepping away, giving up. And then also people are buying spaceships. So we're still on track for another record-breaking year, but who knows? I'm pretty convinced, though, that if we were getting regular, actually weekly, good video content, not just ship commercials, it serves as a sort of weekly shot in the arm. It gives excitement, a bit of insight about what's coming to the game, and I'm pretty sure the community wouldn't be quite as negative as it feels right now.
What would the video content look like? Look at what 4.10 is. Is anybody excited for 4.10? Oh, the remake of something we've already had. And then Recco Battaglia missions. Like, the video content is representing the game content. It's the game is just as boring as the video content is. I'm sorry, but like, if we want to make, like, because we're making comparisons about the old video content to the new video content. Look at 4.9 to 4.10. Look at 4.8 to 4.9. Look at 4.7 to 4.8. Guys, it's not exciting in that way anymore. It just isn't. So the video content is, like, again, if just saying put out video content because it used to make me happy, there's nothing to put out, which is why they're not putting anything out. What would they do? What would they show? The super heavy armor? Which turned out to, like, I don't know, not really be that interesting or exciting so far, in my opinion, either. You know, maybe I don't think I'm just jaded here in this case, in this sense. I think it's, like, pretty realistic. Is, like, if we look back at the old days, it was like one of the last true ISCs I think we had was for contested zones, where before they came in, we saw sort of what CIG wanted to do with them, but we didn't, like, they didn't spoil the story and how it worked. And, like, we had to go in the game and figure it out. And it was a puzzle we had to figure out. So it was like, whoa, they're doing this PvPvE thing. Holy shit. That is totally different than anything we've ever seen before. We've never seen anything like that before. That's exciting. I can't wait to dive in the game and try that out. And then you know truly nothing about it, so you go in the game and you try it out, right? And you try and learn how it works. And of course, it was completely bugged. Nothing fucking worked. So even if you figured out the puzzle, it wasn't working anyway. But in reality, like, that's the last time that we had moments like that. Call out any content in the current game from this year that was like that. I think you could say Rockbreaker slightly, but Rockbreaker in the end was a pretty big letdown because it was straight PvE trash. And because I think the expectation was, for most people, assumed a second Hathor. So that was a bit of a letdown for the PvPvE side of things. And then TSG was a cool idea on paper, but in practice, are people still doing TSG over and over again? I don't think so. So those were, like, the last options where they could have been like, we're doing this. And we did, you know, CitizenCon was the TSG version of a ISC segment, right? So we did get that. Same with Rockbreaker. We had an ISC like segment at CitizenCon for Rockbreaker. But we don't have any of that. Best content this year is Ashland at the moment. Look at how much Highlander is typing on Spectrum. That would be a good little 5-10 minute YouTube video, I think, of, like, his thought process there, what's happening, what people are thinking about it. Might be kind of cool. So, could cut up the PE test record, calling out bugs and asking fixing dev about less intensive bug. No, yeah, I'm sorry. That is not what people want. Like, Bug Smashers is for, like, Evocati people. Like, Kraken, I think you're way too deep in the testing bullshit stuff that, like, the people who are actually, like, want entertainment, and I don't think bugs are entertainment. I just don't think so.
And so we get on to the recent change that CIG has actually made. You might be thinking, oh, this is all disastrous. Why is it all going so wrong? They have made a change.
People want what's coming next. They don't want to, like, some people do want old bug smashers. I'm not saying don't do bug smashers, but I think the topic of this video is like, remember the old days when they showed us what was coming? They want to go back to that, but you can't because you already have what's coming. It's in the PTU.
They recently hired somebody to help Jared, which is a move that I think a lot of people have been hoping for. I was on Space Tomato's podcast recently, and he always asks at the end of that, he says, make a silly prediction. And here was mine. Ollie43 has been hired as a new content manager. My hot take will be Ollie43 is able to make somehow, I don't know why I'm putting so much pressure on the guy. He can make the video content great again. Somehow the hiring of Ollie.
How does what, like, this is so cope. This is so fucking insane cope. Again, you can't make the video content great again if the game isn't great. Right? Like, if the content in the game isn't great, you can't make the video content great again. And by great, it was like we were going months without anything. So any morsel that was given to you in an ISC was something like, you know how a starving person, like, I don't like fish, for example. I don't like mushrooms. But if I was starving, I would eat mushrooms. You know what I mean? Or I would die. That's basically what ISC was, because the game was so bad you were starving. So an ISC came out and you were all about it. Like,
Will mean that we get regular video content.
So much.
That's the pressure. The pressure is on Ollie to fix the video content that basically is dried up. We've got to hope that them adding people to help to work around Jared and to help him means that he can actually get some more content out for us. Bringing people in to help him seems sensible. So hopefully...
Bringing somebody in to help you if you're overworked is sensible. But what is he overworked on? He's overworked on ship sales. And again, like, be honest with yourself. If you were to make a video on something coming soon, what would it be about? The only thing that comes to mind right now, Planet Tech. Where's the Planet Tech now from where we saw it at CitizenCon? And again, I think people forget, like, the people who don't have critical, like, overly critical minds, like myself, maybe, which is most people, like, have you guys not recognized what CitizenCon is at this point? It's a bunch of, like, PowerPoint presentations and bullshit ass videos made in, I don't know what, not the editor, because it's not like in engine necessarily. Like, these are not things that are, like, about to be made in Star Citizen all the time. It's like this, like, hey, what do you think? If it looked like this, would you like it? Kind of presentation. And then people go like, oh yeah, we like that. And then they go try to develop it and make it happen, right? So, like, I think most of the stuff at CitizenCon has been like that. Like, from 2023 to now, I think if you actually look at that, you know that everything you saw at CitizenCon, like, wasn't necessarily, like, real. I like, it is, but, like, it's not real, right? So then, in order to make it real, takes time, it changes, it's different at this point. And, yeah. So those things aren't ready or real. So what happens then? Like, I can't put a pin down on a planet, and I can't trade that with somebody or sell that location of a rock so somebody can go and mine it, right? We still don't have 0G push and pull. We're still not pressing the buttons on the elevators. There's so many other things that you can point out. that were 12 months or so, and we don't have them because they weren't actually ready to go. Like, all of that stuff appeared like it was ready, but it's not, right? Social tools and blah, 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 blah. So you are only seeing what is available now. So this idea that, like, I don't know, this idea that the video content can be fixed when the game, what you're playing in the game is what is replacing the video content. So if you don't like what's in the game now, which I think, you know, so many people are like, I love Star Citizen, blah, 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 blah. But then they also say this, then you don't love Star Citizen. Because if the thing that's keeping you attached to it is not the game itself, then
in a few months, we'll all be singing the praises of the video content from CIG. Now, I don't think anywhere near enough time has passed to make any sort of judgment on this. But the hiring of
no, and you can't make judgment when it's very clear that Squadron 42, like, the push is happening. The push is happening. The company is like, guys, like, fuck Star Citizen for right now. And I'm going to be 100% good. It's okay. But just be honest with yourself.
Seems to be some sort of proof that CIG does want to improve things. My hope, it is hope, is that there's going to be more going on behind the scenes as well. It's not just one hire. Hopefully they're hiring more people to do the gameplay capture stuff, producers, who knows. Hopefully
that's a take I don't agree with. Like, they're fucking YouTube videos. Like, imagine hiring 15 people to make a let's play of a video game. Like, I'm sorry, biggest waste of backer funds at this point is the video capture team. Like, the biggest, like, complete waste of money right now is what it feels like. Now, obviously they have metrics. This is from an outside perspective. They have metrics. I'm sure, you know, the video content sells tons of ships, blah, 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 blah. So it's not like it's profitable for them, I'm sure. But yeah, from the outside perspective, it's like they don't need to hire more people on the video content. They need to hire more people on the gameplay content so Jared can stand up and read a fucking teleprompter and then put B-roll over it. Like, give me a fucking break here. Every YouTuber does this at, like, the same... Like, are you trying to tell me that a morphologist video is lower quality significantly than an ISC? It's the same fucking thing. A dude reading a teleprompter and B-roll going over it. The difference between CIG doing it and morphologist doing it is that CIG just has better information than, and isn't speculating, right? That's literally the only difference. So hiring more people on the video side is not the problem. Hiring people on the gameplay side is the problem. So fucking Jared has something to talk about. That's what I'm saying here, is the reason Jared's not making videos is not because he doesn't want to make video. You're trying to tell me that you don't have a fucking hour to stand in front of the camera and read a teleprompter? Give me a fucking break. Of course you do. Everybody does. Everybody can find an hour in their day to do that. I don't believe that's not there. Like, you can have somebody write the thing. That's where Ali could come in, whatever, right? And you just stand up there as the host. Like, think Linus Tech Tips. I think he's been doing that for years. Obviously, that's why the video content. Dude, Zeus, stop telling me what to do. You're being really annoying in the chat. Thank you. The like, just chill. He can't do anything. The game isn't there for him to make videos on. Like, that's it. We keep thinking that the video content will help. We need the game to be better. That's the difference. You need the development of the game to be better for the video content to improve. We don't need Ali. We don't need a different Jared. You need a better game. You need more development on Star Citizen. So when a dev sits down and shares you the new cool thing that they're working on, that it's actually a new cool thing. It's that simple.
There is a genuine effort to go back to weekly video content. I guess these are all my feelings. I'd love to know in the comments what you feel about this. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you're like, just make the game, doesn't matter. Or maybe you're like me, you kind of miss the glory days of weekly content, something to get excited about the game.
We miss the glory days, but be honest and realistic with yourself. Like, really look at this. It's not Jared. It's not the video content. It's the priority that Star Citizen is not a thing. It's not a priority right now. It is just adding more pluses into their bank account. That's it.
Let me know what you think.
Yeah. So, again, good video content would be amazing, but good video content requires good game content, exciting game content, something worth talking about. Like, guys, I'm sorry. Siege of Orison is not this thing that I can talk an hour for. I can't talk an hour about Siege of Orison. I can't talk for an hour about super heavy armor. I can't talk for an hour about Recco Battaglia missions. Dev gameplay streams would be one of the best things that they can do. But the devs don't play their game. So, we already know that, right? We already know they don't like their game and they don't play it. But that's something that they should do. We see, Fenris do that with Eve and many other games companies do that. But we know that won't happen because it would just be a bunch of bugs and it would be the worst. It would not fit the narrative of playable now because it would look unplayable because it is in many ways, right? So I don't think they would do it. I think that they can get there at some point. That would be good. They can get there at some point, but not right now. So yeah. It needs I don't know. I think it has to be genuine and natural and real. But in the end, that's all I got on that. It's like, it's okay that we don't have video content right now if the company is in an all-out push for Squadron. I believe that's where they are. Without any inside information, the only devs I've talked to are XLB and DJ on like random bugs that like, hey, can you send me the bug that you had? That's it. I am very much on the outside looking in right now. In terms of like not really caring much about Star Citizen for the reasons I stated, is like the game is just not their priority at the moment. So why should it be mine? There's just other games to play that are really good. Project Zomboid, Build 42. I'm playing Space Marine 2. I'm going to play some other games that I'm pretty excited about. It just is what it is. So Ollie can't make Star Citizen development better. Period. Like, that's just it. So no matter who they hire, excuse me, no matter who they hire, the game needs to be developing in a more exciting way in order for the video content to be exciting. That's it. So let me know what you think. But that's all I got on that one. And let me go ahead and link the video to you guys. And if you liked the video from 10#42, go click that link, give him a like, hit subscribe on his channel or whatever, and show him some love. He's a great guy and deserves that love. So, and yeah, let me know what you guys think on that whole thing. All right.